All right, guys, I can't believe how stupid this is. We have to talk about it. But before, let's get into it. It's the Hoops Nerd Postgame Show. All right, guys, the Utah Jazz stupidly win another game. This is 2 wins in a row for the Utah Jazz. And it is now getting really frustrating and really disappointing for fans who are following along closely. For fans who are not following along closely, they're just like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? But for those who are following closely, this is ridiculous. And this is nuts. And we're going into this next game, and Utah is deciding that they are not too worried about getting a top pick, I guess. Utah is successfully setting themselves up so that they will go into they will have successfully had a very bad season where they lose a lot of games, and the reward for all of you and all your time and efforts is the 7 pick. I hope you're excited about it. I hope Ryan's excited about it. Guess what? We're going to get a nice number 7 pick. We're not going to get a franchise-altering player, not a single one of the top 6 that actually matters. But what's not, we'll get Concanopel. Great. Concanopel's coming to the Jazz. Another player that can shoot and can't defend. We'll get that guy. And, and guess what? Lauri Markkanen's happy because he got all he wanted, and every reporter who's in with the Jazz front office got to be nice and smug that they got to sign Lauri Markkanen. Congrats to everyone. And now the reward for losing all these games, the 7 pick. So, jack squat. That's what you get. You get to enjoy that. So let's just look at what's upcoming for this Utah Jazz team now. Now that they stupidly, successfully ruined what was a good thing, now they are just in the fray with everyone else. They had a lead on these guys. They had something going, and they decided that didn't matter. What doesn't matter last 2 years hasn't been a freaking plan, and no one's been an apologist more than me, and I have to ask for repentance. I have to ask for forgiveness from all of you for lying, because I thought this Jazz front office had some sort of idea what it's doing, but they do not. This owner seems to have some sort of idea, but I guess not. I thought they would make the right decisions, but they're too scared or too stupid. One or the other. But it's not anything else. This isn't smart team building. They don't know anything more than anyone else. I'll tell you that much. You successfully created a data company. That's not building a basketball team, okay? So maybe start listening and paying attention to what people are telling you that works, instead of doing stupid moves, starting with the Derek Favors trade that's on Ryan Smith and Justin Zanik. From that point on, it's a lot of head scratchers, and we're doing it right now. We can't even do this right. We can't even be bad right. Utah goes into this one. So the 26th, Utah plays Portland. Good luck. Good luck getting that loss, because they're going to try their best and do the right thing, and Utah is not. Portland is already looking at Utah as someone they can pass now. They can pass them now. That's the reward. So right. There's your reward. Congrats to Ryan Smith. Congrats to Danny Ainge, and congrats to Justin Zanik. We're now sitting at 5th. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Great. This win against Brooklyn is maybe one of the stupidest wins I've ever seen. It just doesn't get any dumber. And we continue to do this, and they continue to get excuses. And you go on Twitter and you say something, and you've got morons who haven't been watching anything all year making comments on things that they have no idea about. Stay away from my Utah Jazz. Stay away. You don't know what you're talking about. This is ridiculous. Utah now sits at 5th. At 5th. Bonkers. Moronic. And this is what we talked about before the season. So all those smug people before the year started who had all their little tweets ready, oh, I'm sure the Jazz will sign Lauri Markkanen. Well, congrats. Now we have Lauri Markkanen and we're getting the 7th pick, and I hope everyone's excited about watching Lauri Markkanen not be able to make pull-up three-point shots and not be able to drive the basketball, not be able to score in isolation, and not be able to pass the basketball to anyone in a way that helps the offense. Can't run a pick and roll, can't do a pull-up three, and that's who Ryan Smith wants to build the team around. That's our building block. That's their plan, and the plan is no plan. They have no plan. We are now seeing the Emperor with the clothes off right now. Right now is what we're witnessing. It's not good stuff. This is the bad place. We're in the bad place. This is it. This is the dark timeline because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand draft capital, I guess. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because the Ryan Smith, the owner of this team, is supporting. I just can't stand it. I can't, it's so simple. It's hard for me to do this show every single time and explain simple concepts that anyone can understand if they had even a little bit of intellectual curiosity. But they do not. They don't. Pay attention to what's going on. New Orleans, who is poorly run, is still doing better than this team. So I guess we should be praising New Orleans. Zion Williamson might be fine. Zion Williamson might be 100% fine, and that means they're making the right choices. So I'm angry at the Pelicans, but really I should be angry at this team because they could have made the right choice. The Jazz could have done the right thing. They could have gotten those picks. My thing just went off. Did I just lose my stream? No, we're live. It's, guys, I'm having a hard time. I'm having a really hard time. KG to TH5, thank you so much. Istanbul, not Constantinople. That's the KG10, you bring the goods. But guys, I'm spitting all over my mic tonight. I don't even care about the stats because what these stats should be, it should not be Lauri Markkanen. This is why we talked about it. And we had all the trade rumors in the world. Utah had all the offers in the world to trade Lauri Markkanen. They had all of them, and they didn't do it. And this is the example of what you have with Lauri Markkanen as your best player. Number 5. That's what Lauri Markkanen leads to. He cannot lead a basketball team to the promised land. He is a complimentary player. He is not much different than Cam Johnson. And I know Cam Johnson sucked tonight, but actually, it wasn't even that bad, to be honest. But anyways, you have this Jazz front office wanting to build things around Lauri Markkanen. Why? Why? What are you getting? It's not how this works. This is not fantasy basketball. This is not college football. This is basketball in the NBA. And we all know it. You all that are watching are knowing. So I guess I'm just preaching to my own little bubble here. But I wish, that's why, by the way, it's Christmas break, and I'm bringing Christmas cheer this holiday season. You are getting every single article criticizing every element of this Jazz team. Enough. I've been nice too long. I don't care anymore. I don't care. This story, the Grinch gets worse. It's Nightmare Before Christmas time. We are not being kind anymore because this is stupid. We had every opportunity to trade Lauri Markkanen for months and months and months, and they didn't do it. And they acted smug like it was this smart thing. And they told their reporters with access that this was the smart thing to do. Well, no, it wasn't, because no one is making any commentary on what this should be going on. No one in this front office gets it. Is Greg Miller making these choices? Because it certainly seems like he is. It's Greg Miller level intelligence going on here. My gosh. And by the way, the Jazz, you can't be serious with this. The Jazz were holding it up for freaking Podziemski. They were holding it up for Podziemski, who is shooting an astronomically bad percentage this year. In fact, I want to go look at this. Right now, if there's one silver lining, it's that Minnesota is, whereas at least last time I checked, they're losing to Golden State. No, they're down by 2. So Minnesota's going to be winning. So all these things we set up aren't even working out. But Utah held up this trade with Golden State over Podziemski. Brandon Podziemski, who they can't even play anymore. Look at his stats for this season. We held it up for this. For this. That's what the Jazz held it up for. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. That's what we held up going after Cooper Flag for. This. I see this kid at the gym holding up the bench press in jammy pants. And that's what we held it up for? This? You've got to be kidding me. 39% from the field and 25% from 3. That's what they held it up for. Are you serious? Someone needs to send a telegram to the Utah Jazz and say, you guys get 39.6% believability now and 25.8% satisfaction rate, because this is what he's shooting from the field, and that's what you held up the tank for. We're now getting 5th. And I know there's good guys in this draft, but you want to be top 3. And guess what, Ryan? You're not getting AJ DeBonsa. The college basketball NIL, that works differently than the NBA. In the NBA, you get those players through the draft. They ain't picking Utah because everyone else pays the same amount. It's a level playing field. And in a level playing field, and it's not even a level playing field for the Jazz because we don't get to do free agency. And we don't even barely get to do trades anymore. So you want to make it level for us, you do it through the draft. And if you want to win, then you've got to take advantage of what your advantages is. And what we could do, and now we can't even do that, right, is lose basketball games. That's all it takes. All it takes. Where's Cody Williams? Why is Cody Williams not playing? Sending him to the G League was stupid. That was dumb. That was a poor choice. I don't care if he's a bust. The G League ain't fixing nothing. It's not fixing anything. Play him on an NBA floor. And if he dies like a gladiator, then he dies. Like Dolph Lundgren said, if he dies, he dies. That's the way this goes. We're playing for keeps. We're not playing for joy rides. We're not playing for season tickets because you've already ruined that. And now you've lost. I mean, that's the stupidest thing of all. You've lost all these games and your reward is the 7 pick. And honestly, one of the dumbest things that I came across too is that they really did try for Mikal Bridges, who can't even shoot the basketball correctly. They were going to give up all that capital for that. And probably because they know they did probably, guys. I can't get over how dumb this stuff is. It is not complicated. It is so uncomplicated, and yet Utah finds a way to make it so. You can't even have the Jazz be the best at anything ever. Even when the goal is losing basketball games, they can't even do that. They can't even do that. You know what? We can talk all the mess we want about the Washington Wizards in the history of both franchises. You could argue the Wizards have had a better franchise history than Utah. It's not like Utah's won a title or anything, you know? Neither is Washington, at least not that I know of, but we'll go back in history. They probably have. But one thing Washington knows is that this is not something you screw around with. And we're screwing around. We are now 5th. Toronto is at 3rd again. They deserve no praise. They deserve no benefit of the doubt anymore. From here on out, it's do the right thing. You've already screwed it up to this point. You could have been locked in at 2. You could have locked it in. Instead, you decided you wanted 5th, and Portland and Philadelphia and Brooklyn are coming. Brooklyn has already traded Dennis Schroeder to get here. They've already made the move. Cam Thomas did not play tonight. Cam Thomas did not play. Dorian Finney-Smith, who's on the trade block, did not play tonight. You know who's on the trade block for the Jazz? Colin Sexton, at least allegedly. Allegedly he is. Allegedly John Collins is on the trade block. We can't make a move. Utah won't make the trade. So congratulations to the Utah Jazz. You can't even be good at being bad. You can't even be good at tanking. You've successfully lost all these games, all the time, all the interest, all of that into the Utah Hockey Club, and we can't get even a top 3 pick, even if we tried. But here's the thing. You ain't trying. You ain't trying. KG10, thank you so much. $5. Emperor with the close off was understandable before, but the jerseys are better looking now. Pajamski, we can't lose for winning. Tank not. Absolute tank not. There you go, baby. You know what? Let's just let Utah do whatever I guess that's what they're just going to do. They're just going to keep playing. Like, what was so dumb about this game is Keontae George doesn't play, and Utah playing against a Nets team that did not have interest in winning. The Jazz couldn't, they seriously were losing this game. The Nets could not hit a 3 for the life of them. And yet Utah finds a way to win these games because they're playing Markkanen, they're playing John Collins, they're playing Walker Kessler, they're playing Colin Sexton, they're playing all these veteran, solid, rotational players, and they expect to get a top pick. It is actually the absolute peak of arrogance of this front office and this ownership to think that they're so much smarter than everyone else who lives, breathes, and dies this league. Somehow they know better. Well, I tell you right now, they're wrong on this. And all we can do at this point is pray and hope they win. Because what we've been arguing this whole time is that not even necessarily winning the lottery. It's just solid positioning in the draft order. That's what I've been praying for this whole season, is just get to that 1 or 2 spot. Because even if you drop, you still get a top 5 pick. Utah now is successfully making it all about a roll of the dice. It's all about a roll of the dice now. Instead of solidifying a top pick like Detroit did it right. I don't want to hear anything ever again from anyone who said anything about Detroit having a bad ending. Those people have the IQ of a snail. If anyone said anything about Detroit having a bad offseason, those people don't deserve a league pass account. Though they should be canceled, they should be putting it in. That should be a question on the league pass login. What are your thoughts on the Detroit Pistons last 3 years? It's actually been extremely successful. Why? Because they solidified a top 5 pick 3 years in a row. Utah's not interested in having top 5 picks, I guess, because they just want to make it all about a roll of the dice. Well, guess what? You're not getting to Bonsa next year because you're going to be too good, because they're going to do the same thing. Utah's going to go into this offseason. They're going to leak their things to the Tony Joneses and the Tim McMahons about why this is all great, and those guys are going to sniff the butt and brown nose as much as they can so that they can keep their access, and everyone just stays happy being told the same junk over and over and over again. Meanwhile, Utah will continue to not be serious, will continue to not be a contender because we don't have any interest in getting top picks and getting an MVP player. We're not getting AJ DeBonsa if we're doing this. If the Jazz keep doing things like they're doing, we're not getting them. It's not happening. Because in college basketball, you have an advantage there with the NIL and an owner with billions of dollars that can pay him to come here. That doesn't work in the NBA. That's not how this works. And you don't win the basketball games if your best player can't dribble a basketball. Right? If your best player can't pass a basketball or dribble a basketball or score in isolation, you ain't winning nothing. And that's why he's showing up at like number 30 on the Ringer Top 100. That rating's probably generous. Probably generous because those guys aren't even watching marketing. They're just looking at box scores. But from my point of view and what I'm watching every single night, that is not a player you build around. Washington gets it. New Orleans gets it. They got their number one pick. He just turned out to be too fat. But Washington understands that once you get that guy, then you build around that guy. You don't build around ancillary guys. That is the stuff of Greg Miller and moronic Jazz front offices of days yore. Guys, that's all I got tonight. I don't care about a single statistic tonight. They're meaningless. They are meaningless. In fact, I'm not even on the Jazz one. All right, let's play the music. What a fun night tonight was. We got a nice win. I hope everyone just loved it. I hope they all got their fuzzies. Although the people that care about that stuff, I promise you, they ain't even watching. They ain't watching this video and they ain't watching the games. They're free on K-Jazz. You can watch the Jazz get 7 victories this year. But guess what? You need it to be at 6 or less, and Utah can't even do that. Utah can't even do that right. All right. Now, ironically, they're probably going to win the lottery on the roll tonight. Guys, I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of begging for miracles. Stop begging for miracles and make them happen. You make your miracles happen. All right, if the lottery was today, because Utah has set it up that the only success of this season comes down to dice roll, comes down to chance. Utah now at 5, 42% for a top 4 pick. They are more likely to be outside of the top 4 than in the top 4 now. Congrats to the Utah Jazz front office. Hopefully they get lucky. Let's roll, baby. Utah wins the lottery. Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm okay with it. If I rant all season long and Utah wins, I'm fine getting made fun of for a year because we all win, okay? The gods, the basketball gods don't like the hoops nerd. They want to mock me. They want to mock me. That's why they did this to me tonight. Anyways, Utah comes away with Dylan Harper or Cooper Flag. That's what has to happen, I guess. The Emperor had his clothes off KG10 and he prevailed. No one saw it, I guess. I can't believe it. All right, if that's what happens, I don't care. Whatever. In the end, that's all that matters is we get that top 3 pick and we got it. This is unbelievable. All right, guys. It worked out for the best. I hope everyone has a really incredible holiday season. Utah does not play until the 26th. So the next time I see you guys will be after Christmas, but I will be making videos up until then, hopefully. Ryan Smith! Oh, sorry, I scared my daughter. Ryan Smith, figure it out! Figure it out, Ryan! Trade them all! Thanos this thing! Think of it like layoffs. I'm sure you guys are fine with that. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Ryan and Edward Perry, the legend. Baby Elliot Matson. See ya, Alexa later. Christian House Money to Haas. The Outlaw Jesse James Nelson. Jordan the Go Best Roll. Austin our great editor extraordinaire. KG10 to TH5. And Patrick Akubo, the connoisseur. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. We got a long road ahead of us. We've made it too interesting. We got to keep going, though. Like and subscribe to the channel. Merry Christmas to all!